Explain like I'm 5. How can a sourdough starter be 100 years old? I keep seeing sourdough starters all over socials. How can sourdough starters be many years old? Don't you need to use the starter to make the bread? Explain like I'm 5. A sourdough starter is simply a live culture of bacteria and yeast. Imagine the culture of the sourdough starter as if it were a family. After 100 years, the original family members, grandma and grandpa, may no longer be alive, but the family is still alive because their grandchildren are still around. As long as you keep that family happy, feeding the starter with flour and water, they'll keep having more and more children, and the family will stay alive, even if the original individuals die. At any time, you can use some of that culture, i.e. the family, to create bread. When the bread is baked, some of the family dies, but ultimately, some of the family will persist in the starter. This explanation really makes me feel like I'm 5. That's great, sport. Would you like some bread? Just try not to think of all those families you're eating, and the cousins they left behind who had to watch them get torn away and roasted in an oven. Oh God, I do not recommend using this explanation with an actual 5-year-old. One of the important components of sourdough bread is the yeast, which gives it a distinctive flavor and helps the bread to rise. The starter is basically a sample of the yeast used for the bread. You can take a small piece of the starter and move it to a new jar filled with food for the yeast to live on. And now that new jar will have the same blend and type of yeast. You can repeat this process as many times as you like, keeping the same sample of yeast alive for potentially many years, just by giving it new food in a clean jar every so often. Explain like I'm 5. Why is alcohol so potent on breath, but nothing else seems to be? You don't pass a random on the street and are like, dayum, that guy been eating grilled cheese. Ethanol is an example of a volatile compound, a substance that is able to directly transform into a gas and leave a liquid. Like your blood, when your blood goes to your lungs to pick up oxygen, ethanol essentially boils out of your blood into the lungs, and you exhale it. There are a lot of other compounds that can do this, most notably the allyl methyl sulfide from garlic. So you can pass a rando and say, damn, that guy has been eating garlic. Most foods either don't contain high concentrations of volatiles, or those volatiles are not as distinctive as the smell of alcohol or garlic. Though, how's this for inspiration? Garlic-flavored alcohol. We may have just come up with $1 trillion idea here. It exists. There's a bar in Soho, London called Garlic and Shots that has hundreds of different shots that are mostly garlic-themed, as well as garlic-infused beers and liqueurs and garlicky foods. Everyone has garlic breath all night. Last time I was there, my Uber driver had the windows rolled down the whole way home and offered me gum after about 30 seconds. I love garlic and alcohol, and that sounds terrible. Some of the alcohol in the bloodstream is evaporated during the oxygen exchange in your lungs and exhaled. It's not in the same form as the alcohol you drink and has a pretty noticeable sweet smell. Explain like I'm 5. Why are energy drinks and the like so dangerous? Working around people who drink 5 or 6 energy drinks a day for years. Also consume 1 or 2 a day on average. Keep seeing everyone talk about how dangerous they are, yet nothing about what makes them dangerous. Edit answers to questions. Wow, thanks for all the info. Amazing feedback. Based on feedback, I'd like to specify and give some info on my own. To get more detailed info if possible. Rain energy drinks have 300 milligrams caffeine. I've seen people crush a 12-pack in 2 or 3 days. What are the risks they are giving themselves? The sugar-free ones are not usually consumed, but I have some, and they have 200 milligrams caffeine in each. I also drink those 5-hour energy drinks too, but I will substitute 1 5-hour drink for 1 energy drink and will never consume more than 3 in a day. Is that still within a healthy limit? My routine is as follows. Wake up, eat breakfast within 2 hours, drink 1 energy booster an hour or 2 after that, and then wait 4 to 5 hours and drink another. I have a hard stop on all caffeine and sugar 5 hours before bedtime to help get down off the energy high and sleep better. A lot of people talked about the sugar and the sugar-free drinks, yet I see a lot of sugar substitutions like sucralose, stevia, aspartame, etc. I have no idea if these are better, safer than actual sugar, but I do consume sugar-free variants from time to time. I guess a more detailed title would be, as someone with high heart risks, what are the dangerous levels of caffeine, sugar, and sugar substitutes for me to consume? I'm wondering now if there is anything else in these drinks that could be a harm. I've read the labels on the ones I have, and I'm seeing proprietary blend on several of them. The ingredients listed afterward are vague and little contact is given. Anyone know what is in them? Edit number 2, info about why I started drinking them and what led to this post. I work 17-hour days for 15 days straight. I get 7 hours between shifts to shower and sleep. Pretty much go till I get days off. The first day or two, I die and hardly get out of bed. I started drinking energy drinks to keep me going, but if I drink them on days off, it is because I'm having caffeine withdrawals and a huge headache. My wife is super worried about me because I have a history of heart disease in my family, and too much could easily do serious damage. Can I cold turkey quit energy drink? Will it have any effects other than the severe headache I've already experienced from trying to refrain? Edit 3. Again, thank you so much. I feel a big change for the better coming in my life, and this amazing community is to thank for a lot of info, details, thought-provoking questions, guidance, and more. Since a lot of people are asking what I do, I will share a post I made. If you would like to discuss things about my job, why, reasons behind my energy drink use, then here, post about finding another job. The people I work with are borderline insane, even waking up an hour or two early and driving to a gym every day. I've been invited, but even after a year, I don't have the energy to go work out for an hour and then go work a 17-hour shift. To use a protracted metaphor, when you're running on normal conditions, your body is like a reactor. It burns fuel, creates heat and energy to do work. When your body does this, it creates waste products that slowly make the reactor work less efficiently and run hot. When that waste product builds up to certain levels, active all day, or the reactor runs especially hot, such as from a particularly high demand activity, hard exercise, then a siren goes off, informing you of dangerous operating conditions, melatonin, I feel sleepy hormones, and a need for a reduction in activity and clean up, rest, sleep, so that the reactor can return to normal temperatures. Drinking an energy drink, or most any stimulant, including simple coffee or caffeine, is just hitting the mute button on the siren. It lets you operate while ignoring that you are no longer in a safe operating condition. It doesn't actually reduce the reactor's temperature or clean any of the waste products out. It just turns off the alarm, feeling sleepy, so you don't notice it anymore. Obviously, you can run a little hot for a while periodically without necessarily exploding. However, eventually you run higher and higher risks of meltdown or malfunction the longer you run outside normal operating parameters. I don't think I've been in a safe operating condition for a single day in my adult life. Assuming it's a 16-ounce Monster energy drink, that's 66 grams of sugar and 298 calories per can. That's not healthy for anyone. X5 is brutal. That's diabetes 101. The vast majority of energy drinks now are sugar-free. I drink about 2 energy drinks a day and can't think of the last time I had one with sugar in it. One thing to know is that caffeine doesn't really give you energy. Rather, it just blocks what makes you tired. On top of that, after enough of it, the body starts releasing adrenaline, which of course makes your heart work unnecessarily harder, and any extra stress on the heart is not good right off the bat. And on top of that, if it's the normal ones, they tend to have a ton of sugar. Last I recall, it's like 60 grams, which is already a lot to consume, let alone 2+. Energy drinks don't actually give you energy, they just make you feel less tired. Your body uses melatonin to make you tired, so your body can be given time to rest up. By using energy drinks, you're pushing your body past its normal limit and overclocking it. Think of, say, your heart as a machine. It's constantly running, 24/7, but it doesn't need to be used as heavily when you're sleeping and resting. If you're tired, your body is actively putting you in a state of being that makes your heart work less. By circumventing this with energy drinks, your heart is once again being overclocked. This wears it down faster and puts it at higher risk of making a mistake, which in this case would be a heart attack. You're trying to force more energy out of your body than you have to spare. Well, that's another episode of Explain Like I'm 5 in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.